I'm going to begin with 8255. That is the interfacing. So before beginning of this, first of all, I want to have the background that why we should study this, okay? Or you may be aware also. What is the background here? That interfacing, why we need, okay? And why we should go for this. I think when you started your journey to microprocessor and microcontroller, you have started with learning of automatic machine concept first, and that was with SAP. 1 minute. That was with SAP, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And then you entered into 8085. Okay. So from SAP to 8085, I think you must be understanding that why we have learned 8085. Because in SAP, we were having only the concepts of automatic machine, not the complete concepts of the programming. Because it was carrying very less number of instructions, and due to that, we don't feel that this kind of machine will be useful. So to make the machine more useful, what has been introduced was the 8085. And in that, we have also seen that it has got the pins, 40 number of pins, and where these pins were divided into 6 sections. And 2 of the section I'll just tell you here. One was the interrupt, another was your serial input output interface. Okay. And another one was also there, that is DMA. So 3 major thing you have found was inbuilt with your 8085. Okay. But you were not having there any kind of provision through which you can have the parallel data input and output. Okay. My question to you that if you try for parallel data input and parallel data output, what comes in your mind, the solution? Anybody? Have you understood what I am talking about? What I am saying that if I want to input 8 bits of data parallelly means at a time, and wants to send 8 bits of data output, okay, at a time, then what is the solution? If we are having our processor as 8085, is anybody getting the solution?
Shift register, PIPO shift register.
Shift register will do what?
Parallel in, parallel out shift register can be.
From where? From where? Which pin?
Sir, you please ask the question by drawing 8085, sir.
Okay. See what I'm saying, that you have processor one minute. Suppose you are having your processor 8085, and what I'm asking you to send from 8085 8 bits of data together. How you will do that? That is my question. And where these data will appear? I'm sure you will be saying that it will appear on the data line, isn't it? it will appear on the data line. And also I'll be sure that you will be using the instruction in for inputting of the data and out for the outputting of the data. You must have learned this 2 instructions, isn't it? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now what I'm asking you that how you look your hardware now. You know the complete format of your out. For the out instruction, the format is that you have to mention here port address. Okay, out, then port address, and this port address will be of 8-bit. So do you understand the meaning of this port address, first of all? Yes or no? Okay, port, I think you understand the meaning of port.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So the port is having a feature, okay? The feature is it has got the feature as latching feature and buffering. These 2 features are there with the port. Latching means saving and buffering means boosting the power, okay? So these are the 2 meanings of this. So a port, you can say anything to a port if you find these 2 features are there. Okay. Now I'm coming to the point because as I understand here that you may not be getting the idea that why we are going for interfacing chip. Okay. Interfacing chip. So I'll just take here the example. Really fed up with what I am telling you, that please mind here that we have 16 address lines, 16-bit address line with 8085 and 8-bit data line with 8085. The data line is your bidirectional and this is unidirectional. Okay, I'm assuming that internally we have multiplexing, okay, and demultiplexing internally. So that part, 8-bit data line. Now I'm taking the question once again. Out port address 8-bit. If suppose I write here 20H, it means what? The 20H is the address of the port, and that 20 will appear on this line. And you should be aware also that these lines are being divided into 2 parts, 8-bit and then 8-bit, 8-bit then 8-bit, and this 20 will appear on both the 8-bit, that is A0 to A7 and A8 to A15. Both will be having their contents as 20 and 20H because we are finding it duplicated. Okay, so one of that one can use. Okay, now I'm talking about the inputting and outputting. Okay, so let us think that we have a port, okay, which has got the address of 20. Okay, and I'm just going to select this. Okay, and this is what kind of port? The output port. So the data line will also go on this, and the port will be having the 8-bit output. So when you give 80 to it, what is going to happen? This port will be selected, and whatever the data you are outing, which you have loaded into your accumulator, suppose accumulator you have loaded with 99, okay, then this 99 through the data line, this 99s through the data line will be written into your port, and this 99 will appear on the output of the port. Okay, so we can have this kind of arrangement. Okay, now I'm asking a question to you that if suppose you want to send the data to the port, okay, after knowing whether the device which is connected on the port is ready or not, then what you will do? Because your speed means this speed of sending the data, and the data which is appear here is been received by whom? That also you have to think, because once you have data given, then definitely you should make a point that this data for whom you have sent, that should be read out by the device, which is outside part of your 8085. Okay, if you want that kind of confirmation, then what is needed? Prajwal, what is needed in that time?
So we wait for the ready one.
We should be,
We should give the instruction ready, and if only if ready is one, then the next instruction should be followed.
so you mean to say that the device which is connected here, if I say this is a device, should give the ready at 85, then only this data should get transferred. That is what you are saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Somebody else? Okay, now what I am saying, with 8-bit, how many output ports you can connect with 8-bit? With 8-bit, how many output port one can connect?
8-bit address, sir.
Yes. 8-bit address.
Yes, sir. 256.
256 output ports, isn't it? You can able to connect these many output ports. Now you tell me that if you have, don't go for that 256, you just think of one more device. Then in that time, how this ready will be shared?
Sir, I didn't understand.
See, one of the device you are using, I have a problem. The problem is that I am also having one more port, and that port is having its address as 21. Another port I have, which is having its address as 21. There also the device is connected. Now this device wants to say 8085 that I am ready or not. Then how this ready will be shared? Because you are having only one pin here.
Yes, sir.
So in that time, and you should also remember that this ready is not related only with out. And the 8085 is also not doing only outputting job. They are also doing the job of memory. Okay. This is one of the thing you are looking into it. You have the another thing where your memory is also connected. and from the memory only, these instructions are coming out. And then during the execution, these arrangement will get reflected. And suppose this ready you have utilized for this particular thing, okay, then what is going to happen, you know, that this memory will not be accessed also. None of the output operation will be carried out. The processor will be always in wait state as long as the device has not given the ready. Okay, this is one thing. Another thing is that if suppose the device has read the input, because device is reading it, isn't it? If device has read this input, then how the processor will come to know that whether the device is now free for the next byte of data?
So it has to send an acknowledgement.
Acknowledgement. So from where that has to come? From where that has to come?
So the device has to send the acknowledgement.
See, for that you need some more device. Okay, because I don't want to waste your time more. What you want there has to be some other device, okay, through which these ports, these devices, okay, will get communicated. Some may be doing the job of this, some may be doing the job of this, okay. And this device we are saying is the interfacing device. What we are saying, interfacing device. And whatever the problem we have just discussed, okay, this handshake, actually we are talking about the handshake signals, okay. Without handshaking, we will not send any data or we will not receive any data, okay. So this handshaking kind of problem which we are facing with only one device, okay, that all gets solved with your interfacing chip, that is here 8255. Okay, this interfacing chip is actually getting connected with your 8085 in this fashion. Okay, where the address line and data line is being connected to this interfacing chip. Along with that, it also receives the control. Okay, the controls are your read. The controls are your write, read, write, but for your information, I'll tell you that they are along with IO. Or what I'll do, they are along with input output, IO read, IO write, and there is one chip select also. Okay. And here you have the address line. And for your information, I'll tell you that it has got only how many address line? 2 address line, A0 and A1. Okay. Okay. And this is offering 3 ports, port A, port B, and port C. And this is left to you that how you design your IO mapping so that these addresses will get fixed, because we are talking only for one of the 8255 here, okay, and with one of the 8255 here we are getting 3 ports, but we all know that we have the options of connecting 256. So based on that, what you can have more number of IOs or more number of other type of interfacing chips also. Okay, because in all the cases, in all the interfacing cases, you will be always utilizing this port addresses. Okay, the in and out. If you are with IO mapped IO, but for you have got the other alternatives also. Suppose you exceed more than 256, then in that case you can go for memory mapped IO also. through which you can go up to 64 kilobytes of IOs. Okay. Yes. Are you getting why we are going for the interfacing chips?
Yes.
Why it is essential to read this or understand this? Just basically, in other words, I will tell you that these interfacing chips are basically, you know what, is the hardware. Okay, the hardware which is a programmable one, and that can be programmed for the interfacing with the external devices. Okay, or I can say that these hardwares are actually reconfigurable. You can reconfigure. Okay, with your configurations, you can get whatever you are looking as a hardware connection between the two devices. And that's the reason that the interfacing chips we are going to study. Okay, if suppose you are not going to use it, then I'm saying you that you will find your interfacing chip without interfacing chips, you will be having a very complex hardware. Okay, so the complexity into the hardware, if you want to reduce, then you must go for it. Okay, and when you will learn about it, then you will feel that it provides you a lot of advantages. Okay, though you can not think of by a simple logic circuit. Okay, and at the end of this 8255 studies, okay, I will also ask you that can you tell me that when you program this 8255, then how its hardwares are getting changed? Okay, because I told you that it is getting reconfigurable. Are you getting it? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to start this 8255. Okay. Because till now I was just having the background that why we should study about it, and now I think you all must be convinced. Okay. So here I'm going to begin with the 8255. So you should understand its name first of all. It is called programmable peripheral interfacing. Okay, programmable. It means what? You can program this for your required application. Okay, and the application when you receive, then you have to analyze your application, and based on your analysis, okay, you think that what kind of programming is required to 8255, okay, or you can also think that whether this 8255 is required in your application or not. It's not necessary that you will be requiring always 8255, okay, because there are many more interfacings, and in your syllabus we have included a very simple interfacing chips, that is your 8255 and 8253, that is a timer, okay, and 8279 is also there. Karthik, I'm not remembering the syllabus. Karthik.
Sir, go back to previous slide and you can check.
No, but this is an old syllabus.
Okay, sir. I will just
here it is mentioned 8279. Okay, 8253 and 8255. These three, I think, these three are all there. I think so. Okay. Anyway, so we have reduced a lot, I think, isn't it? Okay, come back to this. So what I was telling you that in interfacings, we are going to study three main chips, 8255, 8253 and 8279. 8255 is for parallel data transferring. 8253 is for timer, that is for the delay generation, that is for the wave generation, and 8279 is for keyboard and display interfacing. Okay, so please remember their name, number, and the features. Okay, so here we are going to begin with 8255. What are its features? So first of all, you should know that this is again a 40 pin chip, and which is very much compatible with your 8085 and 8086. Okay, it is compatible with both, and it offers you 3 ports. Okay, it offers you 3 ports, and all of the ports are 8-bit. So that is why here it is written as 24 parallel input-output lines. Okay, with a variety of programmable operating modes. Then, for your information, I'll tell you that it has the modes, mainly 2 modes of operation. One is called bit set reset mode. Another is called your input output mode. And in input output mode, once again you have 3 types of mode, which is called mode 0, mode 1, and mode 2. And this mode 0 is your simple input output mode. Mode 1 is your strobed input and strobed output, and mode 2 is your bidirectional mode. Okay, so altogether, how many modes you are going to study? Then my answer to you is 4 modes. Okay, and here some of the examples are been shown to you that 8255 is generally used for the connections of your ADC, DAC, keyboard, etc. Okay, there are the provision, but I would prefer you not to connect your keyboard with 8255 because it is going to create a complexity. Okay, so the simple thing is that ADC, DAC, or any logical type of control, if you are required, then you must go for 8255. For example, is that chemical processes. Okay, in that time you can see. Now I'm going into its architecture. Okay, see the architecture. I have written many things here. Okay, but how you have to look into it. See here that I have told you that it has got how many pins? 40 pins. So try to know all the 40 pins first of all. So here you have got 3 ports. Port A, that is A0 to A7. Port B, B0 to B7, which is at down, which is at bottom. This one, and then this one. Okay, and the port C, which is been split into 2 parts. And here it is mentioned that we have got 2 groups of operation here, group A and group B. In that group, we have port A, port C upper, that U stands for upper. Okay, and port B and port C lower. And this lower and upper is of 4-bit and 4-bit. Okay, so here how many pins you find? That is 24 pins. Now coming to this side, here we have 8-bit. So 24 plus 8, how many pins now? Because this is for the data transferring. Okay. How many now? 32. Okay, then 2 address line, A0 and A1. So it is now sorry, it is now 34. And after that, read, write, chip select, and also you have a reset here. This reset comes out from 8085 with pin reset out. If you remember, we were having a pin reset out on our 8085. So that pin has been connected to this reset. Okay. Some of you must respond. Okay. So yes, here, So here what
Yes,
I am
sir.
saying that after 32, 34, 35, 36, 37, then 38, 13, I think this is 38. I'm doing a wrong calculation. 24 plus 8, 32. Then power supply, 2 lines, plus 5 and ground, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. Okay. So this is the pins. Come inside of it. When you go inside of 8085, you find there are the blocks. Okay. The port A, then port C lower, upper, then lower, then port B. Okay. And you have two groups of control, that is group A control and group B control. This is all internal. And then you have here two more blocks, which is again the internal, that is your data bus buffer and read-write control logic. To that read-write control logic, all of the controls are going on. Okay, this chip select you will be definitely remembering. Okay, and this you must have remembered when we have discussed the memory designing. Okay, this chip select is needed for what reason? I think you all will be remembering it. Yes. Because until unless you are not giving this chip select, okay, this chip will not be enabled. This is basically the enabling input. The purpose of read and write is that whatever is available here, that if you want to read, the control signal will be given as read. Write, the purpose is that if you want to write something on the port, then for that there is a control. Also, this write is used for writing the control word. Okay, the control word into control register. There is two register, control register and status register. Okay, control register always related with write and status register is always related with your read. Okay, so these two registers are also here. Okay, because this control word means what? Actually, you are generating an instruction. Okay, you are generating an instruction. The instructions like you might have learned rim and sim. You remember rim and sim?
Yes, sir.
In case of sim instruction, what you were doing, you were generating a control word. Okay, and when that word is been written, okay, through sim, what was happening? Your hardware was getting changed. Okay, your hardware was getting changed. That was the reason that we have used that sim instruction. Similarly, here also we will be generating the control word, and that word we will be writing into this so that our hardware can get changed. What kind of change? The answer is that you can view here that port A is looking as a bidirectional. But what I'm saying that with writing of your control word, you can make it unidirectional. Means only for the purpose of output, only for the purpose of input. Okay, like that, the configuration you can change. Okay, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any question? Or I can go for next slide. Any question? And also you should remember why I have written left side and right side. Okay, the left means always your left side is connected with 8085 or 8086. That is the meaning. Okay, and right side is always for your external device. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. One of the pin I want to discuss here. Rest all of the pin you can understand. Okay. One of the pin that is called reset. Now question is what happens when you apply the reset to 8255? That is a question. Then for its answer, you should mention that when the reset is applied to 8255, then all of the ports becomes the input port. What happens? All of the port becomes input. Okay. So please remember that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. My question, why? Why all becomes input? Why not all becomes output?
Sir, we had considered an example that for a geyser, I think, that we should not allow excess output, and when it is not required, we directly go to input, so as to not damage the
Correct.
periphery.
It is because of the reason of fail-safe. Okay. If something gets failed, then always your device should fall into the safe side. Okay. Okay. It should not happen that if suppose I am applying a reset, it means what? Something has gone wrong. That is why I am applying reset, isn't it? Yes or no? When you apply reset to your device, to your computer, tell me, you apply only in those conditions? If you find something is wrong?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Now you just imagine that when you apply the reset to your processor, the processor also generates the reset out. And that reset out, I have told you that it is connected to the interfacing chip. And from this interfacing chips, you may find that there is some motor, some valve, okay? Some motor, some valves are connected. Because I told you that some chemical processes are also controlled by this. And you imagine if it goes into the output, what is going to happen? These motors and these valves, which is not running previously, but after application of the reset, they may start running. And when they start running without any information, then what is going to happen? Because these processes are into field where the persons are also available, where the process may get damaged. Okay. So that is why without any information, without any knowledge, these things should not run. And that is the reason that it has been designed such that it all appear as input. And you may be having a question that, okay, if input something comes in, then what is the problem? The answer is that this input will be taken to the processor. From here to the processor, if you take, then definitely you require the instruction. You require the instruction, then only it will come. Otherwise, it is not going to come. Otherwise, it will stay here only. It is not going to create any damage to this processor. Am I clear now? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, these two pins also you should understand, these two, A0 and A1. For your information, I'll tell you that with these two pins, you are going to have how many combinations? 4 combinations. Okay. These 4 combinations are going to select 1, 2, 3, and this 4. Okay. These 4 combinations are going to select port A, port B, port C, and control register. Okay. For that region, these 2 pins are being provided because it is not only one place. We have 3 different places here and 1 place here. That is why the designer has provided 2 pins here as address pin. Okay. Okay. So I think whatever you have seen, that is all written here in words. Now coming to its programming side. Okay. I'm not going to discuss much more thing. Okay. I'll cover up the things faster and then directly enter into the application side. Okay. Here I told you that it has got two modes, that is BSR and IO mode. Okay, the BSR and IO mode. See here, this is the control word, and in this control word, this D7 bit actually select your BSR and IO. If this bit may have two combination. One is your 0, another is your 1. When it is 0, then it is BSR, and when it is 1, then it is IO. Okay, so BSR mode, and this is IO mode. Is it okay? Now coming back to this. Okay, one more thing, you just see here that the connections diagram, the address bus, control bus, data bus, and it all left to you that how many bits are there, that you decide on the basis of your processor. Okay, for your information, I'll tell you that when 8086 works in IO mode, then it delivers 16-bit of address. Okay, but when 8085 is there, then it delivers 8 bits of address. Okay, and what I have made here, that lower and upper. Lower and upper means there are 2 bytes, lower byte and upper byte. Lower byte will be selecting the lower 8255, and the upper byte will be selecting the upper 8255. Okay. So here, what I am saying, that this address line, you see the A0 and A1. Okay, there are 4 combinations: 00, 01, 10, and 11. And when this is 00, the port A will be selected, port B, port C, and status register also. Port C and the status register also, please remember. And when it is 11, then it is control register. Okay. Okay, are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now coming to this BSR mode. In case of BSR mode, what I have told you in the figure, that we have got 8-bit control word. Okay, so that is what is been reflected here, that D0 to D7. And when this D0 is made as 0, okay, then the selection is D7 is equal to 0, then your selection is BSR mode. And for your information, I'll tell you that these 3 bits after that is don't care. So what you can do, you can either write 1 or 0. It is left to you. Okay. Here I have just mentioned 000. Okay. Then what comes next is that the next 3 bit. This next 3 bit is used for the selection of port C bits only. Okay. These 3 bits are used for selection of port C bits only. Are you getting? These 3 bits will generate how many combination? 8. Okay, that 8 means 000 will select your PC 0, and 011 is selecting your PC 3. Okay, and to that bit, if you want this bit is to be made as 1, that particular bit only, then you write here the last bit LSB as 1. If you want this is to be made as 0, then you write here as 0. That is what has been this mode. Okay, with application you will understand that this is what. Okay, and how to use them. Now coming to the most important part is that IO mode. Okay, this is your IO mode. The control word for your IO mode. Okay, so here in this case, the D7 is being kept as 1. So it is kept as 1. See here. And after that, you have D6, D5. This D6 and D5 is used for the mode selection in group A. Okay, mode selections in group A. And as I told you that IO mode offers you 3 modes of operation. And you can see here, these 2 bits, when you keep them as 00, 01, or 1, don't care. Don't care means either you write 10 or 11. In both the cases, mode 2 will be selected. Okay. Next, D4 is meant for port A. Okay. And where if you write 1, then port A will become input port. If you write 0, then this will become output port. The same time, what you have port C upper also, where if you write that bit as 1, then it is input port. If you write 0, then output port. Okay. Now the last 3 bits are meant for group B. Okay. And in this group B, first one is meant for mode selection. And for your information, I'll tell you that group B works only in mode 0 and mode 1. Okay, and group A works in all the 3 modes. Group A means the port C upper and port A works in these 3 modes. But group B works in only these 2 modes. Okay, and where the port C lower and port B is applied. Is it okay? Is it okay for you? Yes. Please say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you can see the combinations. Okay. So here I have taken these all things from the Intel manual. Okay. From there directly it has been taken. And you can just find out here that what is happening when you make the change into the bits combination of group A and group B. Okay. So here you see 00, then 00 means D4 and D3 you are making 00. D1 and D0 you are making at 00. Then what happens to this? The port A becomes output because you know if you write 1 here, then only it will be input. Okay. And port C, you see here, that is also output. So 0000 makes them as output. Okay. I'm taking you at the bottom, that is 11111. All are 111. It means what? Port A is input, port C upper is input, port B is input, and port C lower is also input. Okay. Okay. So in the diagram also it is been shown. I will share this slide with this PPT with you. Okay. So in the next class we will go for this, but before that I want to have a practice for generating the control word. Okay. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
how is it? In port C we have 2 parts, right? Upper and lower.
Yes.
Will it be possible to make one input then the other output?
Yes.
So then
That is
how
what I was showing you here in this diagram. What I was in this combination, you see A you just see 1010 1010. Okay. In this case, what you are finding that 1010 both are output, but 1011 you see output and input. You can see here, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because it is split into 2 parts. Okay, and not only that, what is also been stated that any of the pin of your port C you can always use as output through your bit set reset mode. Okay, suppose some pin you want to make as 1, you can do that. Okay. Other interesting thing will be tomorrow. Okay. And then only you will understand that why you are actually learning this 8255. Okay.
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Yes.
Actually, sir, students we are saying that we are having 2 syllabus. One is new one and that.
Follow the new one. Follow the new one. Okay. follow the new one.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, fine. You have got some other class also, no? Or I can continue further. Karthik? Prajwal? You people are having next class, no?